go celebrate. They have done it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another post-match reaction to Newcastle United's 5-0 demolishing of Crystal Palace. That is now 9 goals in 2 games at home at St James's Park. This team is on fire. What a performance that was. Certainly in the first half. Second half was just steady away, but we're going to get stuck right into it, talk about the key moments, talk about some of the goals that were unbelievable, to be fair. If that's the kind of thing you guys like, smash subscribe, help get us to the next milestone. We're over 10,000 subs now. We're closing on 10,200 actually, which is awesome. So thank you so much to everyone who smashed that button. Like the video. It always helps with the algorithms. It's all free to subscribe. If you want to be a member, there is a little option underneath as well. Click whichever one suits you best. So in terms of the lineup, it's probably, it goes without saying these days, it basically was the same lineup as it was at the weekend. There's no need to change something that's working. That's exactly what we did. Jason Tyndall just stuck with the same team, which wasn't surprising at all. So, you know, the only change really was probably Willock, I think, shaking off this concussion, and he came back on the bench. We saw a little bit of Willock later on. A little bit of a thing to say about Willock, I think. Not great things, but I'll get into that in a minute. I don't want to ruin the buzz of the great performance, but I will get into Joe Willock in a second. But we started the game. We nearly scored in a matter of minutes, to be honest with you. Jacob Murphy just looked bang at it. He whips across in the box, and I think both Isak and Joe Litton kind of managed to miss it. And you're thinking, bloody hell, we are bang at it today. Absolutely at it. You know, Palace kind of broke forward a little bit, but won the ball back. We pressed them hard, aggressive. We were all over them, and then we get the goal. we get the goal. Just trying to see when the actual goal was, to be fair. On my little sofa score thing here is not telling me when the goal was. I think it was, what was it again? 14 minutes. Here we go. I had to change apps there. So 14 minutes, we get the first goal, and it's fucking outrageous by Jacob Murphy. It really is. He gets the ball on the far side. It breaks to him. And he's obviously been watching Sandro Tonali thinking, why not? I'll have a crack at this as well. He fucking lynches it into the back of Henderson's goal. Again, he catches the goalkeeper cold. He's got no right to shoot from there whatsoever. It's in the back of the net. Absolutely incredible by Jacob Murphy. Probably matched by his celebrations. I love the expressions that he pulls when he scores these blinding goals, because he's just like one of us in the crowd. Can't believe he's just hit that shot in the back of the net. And that's it. You just thought, right, Newcastle are going to piss all over these now. And we had a few more chances. And then the 2 biggest moments of madness in this entire game first started courtesy of Nick Pope, who decided to go for a wander, looked like a fucking motor lost without a sat-nav, comes steaming into Richards, about fucking 20 yards out practically, just slings his hand up, belts him, knocks him on the bloody floor, and, you know, jumps over 3 of his own players to do it. And VAR seemed to take about 3 hours to figure this thing out. I looked at it straight away and thought, what the fuck is he doing? Mark texted me and said, what is he doing? And he said, that could be a penalty. Then we had a little bit of thought about it. And then you knew for a fact when he was going to look at the screen, you thought, this is a penalty, hands down. And it's a penalty. And you're just thinking, you fucking idiot, Pope. We're all over these guys. What are you doing? That's the second moment of madness and rush to the blood of the head that you've had, you know, in the last few weeks. Remember when he took Wieser out against Brentford, which looked cleaner than this one. This one looked like he was going for the fucking clothesline from hell. Must be watching some vintage WWE, I think, back in the change room before the game. And you're thinking, right, Palace are going to get back into this. Eze stands up to take it. Eze's a cracking player. And he then delivers the worst penalty I think I've ever seen in my entire life of watching football. It was a shuffle, a stutter, a stop. He picked his nose. You know, he wrote a little letter to his mom. He posted that. And then he took a shot and it dribbled across the floor. And then Nick Pope managed to save it. So thank God that pen was dreadful, because it kind of woke Newcastle up from their apathy. And it's Harvey Barnes again who helps get the second goal. He goes on one of them barnstorming runs again. Pace. I mean, he looks like he's 4 or 5 yards quicker, Harvey Barnes, and he's legging it down the line. He puts a shot across. I think he's trying to square it to Alexander Isak, who already had 2 or 3 chances, to be fair, before this point, and should have scored and didn't score. And then, of all players, Mark Guehi, Newcastle target all summer, thanks to Steve Parish, he didn't end up in a black and white shirt. It then flicks through Guehi's legs, goes up, goes in, you know, and Alexander Isak can't get anywhere near. So the back of the net, and we're 2-0 up, and you're thinking, this is it. We're on Cruise Street now, absolutely on Cruise Street, you know. And then we get the third goal, and it's Barnes again. You know, Palace are on the attack. Lovely little bit of play. Sandro Tonali gets the ball. He knows exactly. Looks over his shoulder. Tonali was excellent again tonight. He looks over his shoulder. He finds Barnes with the pass. Barnes just goes steaming ahead again. Isak's breaking through the middle. But you're looking at Harvey Barnes in that position. I'm just thinking he's going to shoot here and he's going to score because he's deadly as fuck as Harvey Barnes. When he gets into the box, he's as clinical as a centre forward, and he takes that shot. It's an aggressive finish in the bottom right hand corner, or the keeper's right hand corner, straight in there. Keeper's got no chance whatsoever. We're 3-0 up, and you're thinking, bloody hell, we're absolutely on Dream Street here. They're getting nowhere near us, and then we just keep twisting and turning, and then we get a free kick. A lovely little bit of play by Trippier. Trippier put a few balls in, wasn't quite happening in terms of the set pieces. And then Trippier just kind of flicks it. Murphy, again, with a beautiful cross. He done about 3 or 4 of these in the first half. A beautiful flight crossover. Fabian Schär nuts in the bottom corner. Lovely little touch on the head. And we're 4-0 up. And Palace are just probably thinking, blow the fucking whistle now. We go in half-time, 4-0 up, well-deserved. Come out in the first half. We only get the 1 goal, but Alexander Isak, who had as many chances as fucking J-Lo's had bridesmaids tonight, eventually gets the goal. Great play by Joe Linton, who again, he was excellent tonight. Again, presses really well. I think is it Lacroix presses into him. Guehi passes the ball to Lacroix. Joe Linton comes steaming into him. How they can miss this big bastard with his big yellow Simon Phoenix haircut steaming in the back of him and not shout man onto that player is hilarious to me. So Joe Linton gets the ball back, wins it back. Alexander Isak gets it in a fucking beautiful finish, just right in the bottom corner. 21st goal of the season, and that's it. It's 5-0 to Newcastle United, and well deserved. We're up to 3rd in the league. We bring on some subs quite early on in the game. Anthony Gordon came on, tried to make things happen on the right-hand side, didn't quite get into the game. Joe Willock came on, some nice little moments of promise, but always seems to rush the play too much. Gives the ball away really quickly, turns and kicks it rather than takes a touch and takes his time, lacks a bit of composure. Sean Longstaff came on ahead of Louis Miley, which I thought was weird, and some rank touches by Sean Longstaff, to be fair tonight. I'm not trying to be negative because we won 5-0, and obviously that's the main thing you take from the game, but the quality of them subs that came on were not great at all, to be honest with you. But fuck it, we're 3rd in the league, 5-0, brilliant performance from the lads, certainly in the first half. We'll get to your comments and I'll give you my man of the match when I get there. So George is saying our front 3 are ferocious, absolutely, and he doesn't want Guehi anymore. I saw Mark Guehi come off the pitch, George, and he had a look of a man just thinking, fuck me, I could have been here. He just looks sick as a chip. I bet he's cursing Parrish. And again, George is saying it's like a switch has been triggered inside. Like Neo in the Matrix, you're starting to believe. Absolutely. Vincent says we're starting to violate teams again, and I love it. We're destroying teams, Vincent. We're absolutely destroying teams. And why are we so good? Because we are. We're just fucking class, to be fair. And Marcus is saying, got to be tough to unseat Barnes. Good for him. Absolutely. Barnes is on fire tonight. To be honest with you, Barnes is in for a shout with the England squad for me. 100%. If Tuchel watched that on Sunday and then he's watching that again tonight, Harvey Barnes has got to be in for a shout for the England squad for me. 100%. Mark said another brilliant performance. How good is Tonali? He's just amazing, Mark. The way he uses the ball, ferocious in his tackling as well. He's absolutely fucking class. He really, really is. Stephen says Tyndall in 100% record. He's got a better one than Sam Allardyce for England, hasn't he, to be fair? Chibbers with a super chat. Thank you, Chibbers. Are you watching Simon Jordan? For me, give Miley the minutes, not Longstaff. I totally agree. I think it was weird. Absolutely weird. Kevin's saying, are we able to buy your Chat GBT doll? I'm not sure you can buy them, mate, but they were very good. I've been messing around doing some for the family as well, to be fair, which is all fun. I did about 3 different ones. I mean, I look different every time. The first time, I think I did one, which I was much preferred to the other ones. I looked a bit like the guy who voices Love Island, who's married to a tidy blonde Irish bird. So that was quite a good one. But didn't look fuck all like me. But Mark definitely got the better one, I think, of me. Ashley saying, do you reckon the lads can give the same energy for Villa on Saturday? That's the hardest game for me, Ashley, in terms of the running. That for the neutral is going to be unbelievable. That's the 2 best footballing sides in the Premier League right now in this current moment, playing each other Saturday, 5 o'clock. For the neutral, that's going to be some game. But Villa will be concerned because that is a banging form. Newcastle United going to Villa, ready to fucking go at them. And Villa are going to be tired physically and mentally after that Champions League exploit. So we're so unlucky not to go through. I thought they were excellent in that game, but that'll take a lot out of them, and they're going to have to show up again against us at Villa Park. And it's going to be one hell of a game. There's no doubt about that. Dan Robinson's been a member for 11 months. Thanks for that, Dan. Away the lads, 3rd place. What a game. Absolutely, 100%. Trans Events UK said, did somebody say Champions League? I do believe so. It's certainly looking good. Toonami said 9 goals and Isak only scored 1. So one player team bollocks, rival fans spout is shite. You're absolutely right, mate. All this Isak carries you. No, he fucking doesn't. Watch that. Look at Harvey Barnes. How well is he playing? Tino Livramento, again, sensational at left back tonight. The overlap and the pace is more composure on the ball, using the ball better. I think we just need him to replicate that on the right when Hall comes back, and we've got the 2 best wing backs in the fucking league, in my opinion. Blip 2012 saying Murphy for England. It's not outrageous to say it, mate. Why not? He's banging for him. Paul Franks is saying Murphy pointed to Tonali after his goal, and Sandro had a huge smile on his face. Happy days. It's obviously been watching him do it, mate. And as I saying, Barnes will tear you apart again. I absolutely love it. Again, I asked to say, man of the match, Tonali, Bruno, Trips, Barnes. Don't know. It's really hard. You say Murphy was class, and he gets a goal and he gets an assist, but he come off on the hour mark. I'm not really a big fan of players getting a man of the match who've gone off so early. So I gave it to Tonali against Manchester United. I'm going to give it to Barnes tonight because I just thought he was relentless all night. Looking at his kind of heat map and where he was, it was 74% passing accuracy, 1 goal, technically, 1 assist if you want to call it that, for the own goal as well. And I just thought he was absolutely brilliant tonight, Harvey Barnes, everywhere on the pitch. So it toss it between him and Tonali for me. But let us know your man of the match as well, guys, because it could be any one of them, to be honest with you. Stephen says the Sky commentary was fucking unbearable. It was. Chris Sutton was a bit strange, I thought, just a little bit weird. But Chris Sutton is very weird, isn't he, to be fair? KK saying, I suspect Tonali has 4 lungs. I mean, the pace on him as well. He must have spent that 10 months running on a fucking treadmill, I think, when he was suspended, because he's got so much pace. It's absolutely unbelievable. Roadblock with super chat, £2. Thank you very much, mate. Man of the match, Joe Litton, for not getting a yellow card. Superb, mate. That's it, rescinded now. So Joe Litton can't be suspended now, which is absolutely class as well. Adrian Mills is saying we're only 4 points behind Arsenal. We're playing them soon. Can we go second? Oh, my God. I'd love it. Could you imagine Arteta, the bedwetter, Newcastle finishing second beyond them and all the Arsenal fans who want Isak? Why would he want to step down and go to a team that we finish above in the league? Fucking class. Joe Thompson saying, does Eddie need to earn his place back in the team when he's fully fit? Excellent, mate. Absolutely excellent. Comment there from Agent Tech Streams. It's a long way to London when you're shit. That must have been the chant. Absolutely class. Superb. Christmas saying Murphy is a man possessed as well. Another goal and an assist. Where will it end from? I don't know. I really don't know. It's you're kind of waiting for this to end, on you, being a cynic and a skeptic, in terms of a Newcastle fan of age, a certain age who's been just conditioned to be worried about losing games and players coming off form. But Jacob Murphy just seems to get better and better every fucking week. So God knows when it's going to end, Chris, but hopefully never. Tony saying, getting Chris and Mark just back on from the bus from the game. Tonali is like a Lamborghini. You should have jumped in his back, Tony. He could have just jogged you back home. I bet he wouldn't have even sweated, to be honest with you, because that's how good the man is. But it's so enjoyable, isn't it, to be watching games like this, to be seeing performances like this, watching us not just beat teams, but tear teams apart, absolutely annihilate teams. And right from the off as well, there's no warming up to this team anymore. They're just bang at it, 100 mile an hour right from the start. So all of that talk that we had earlier on in the season about, with Bunce and the kind of game management and all that kind of stuff, and stepping off that intensity as our identity, it seems to be back now. And it seems to be back, not just intensity as our identity, but just ruthlessness and going for it, and just absolutely wanting to destroy teams, not settling, for 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, going for 5, 6, and 7s. And that's what Newcastle are doing right now. And it's amazing. It really, really is. This last few run-ins of games, Villa's the hardest one for me, no doubt about it. Chelsea won't be an easy game, neither will Brighton or Arsenal, but Villa is the hardest one out of a lot of them, Villa away. And if we can get the points for Villa away, I'm really, really confident, guys, that we can go on and get that Champions League spot. So I just think we're absolutely on a roll. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. We are on a fucking roll. Absolutely. Joe said Arsenal matches between their 2 semi-final Champions Leagues as well. Will there be wrestling players then, mate? Superb. I think we've got their number as well, Joel, to be honest with you. I really do. I think Arsenal shit themselves against Newcastle. They don't like the intensity. They don't like the aggression, the press. They don't like any of that. And they're right at it as well. So Arsenal will be shitting their pants playing against us. And we rattle them, we get in their heads, and we fuck them up. Anthony said best midfield in the league without a doubt. I think so, mate. There's only 2 teams really you could say have a better midfield than ours right now. It's Arsenal and Liverpool at a push. I saw some silly content creator trying to say that Gravenberch was better than Tonali. I think he was just doing it to wind people up, to be honest with you, just clicks and nibbles. I wasn't going to give him it. Nobody else should give him either, because Sandro Tonali is the complete midfielder for me. He can track back, he can go forward. He's great on the ball. He's got a great range of passing. He's got an engine. He's got pace. He can tackle. He doesn't lose his head. He's aggressive enough, but without losing his head, he's very calm and composed. I think there's a reason that Tonali's the one who's being left on when Bruno and Joelinton are coming off. Obviously, don't Joelinton get the yellow card tonight, but there's a reason that Sandro's staying on, because I think out of the three of them, he's got probably the biggest engine. He's got the most composure, the calmness. Joelinton can lose his head sometimes. Bruno can do something silly sometimes, whereas Sandro seems to be completely unfazed, with his performance. So yeah, I think that's why he's the best midfielder in the league by a mile. The Go 1892 says 3/4 of the earth is covered by water, the rest is covered by Sandro Tonali. It seems that way, mate. It really does. William was saying we just need the result of Villa, hoping for all three, but even one would do. Yeah, point would be good, William, but yeah, I want a 3 as well. Ty saying I've got a ticket for Everton for Chris or Mark if I have a way of contact. Oh, very good, mate. Well, we'll give you a shout, mate. Drop us an email, Ty, and we'll have a chat with you, mate. No doubt about it. Andy B is saying Tonali's squad numbers next year will be too. You just play everywhere, mate. Just play everywhere, Andy. Absolutely, he's such a good player, man. How much value for money is that transfer looking now? I know we were all pissed off, when he was injured. Beg your pardon, suspended, for the 10 months. But look how good of a player he is now. I mean, it was 50 million quid is a fucking bargain for a guy like that. People are buying Declan Rice for 100 million. And would you rather have Tonali and Declan Rice? I would. Forget the 2 free kicks against Real Madrid. I'd rather have Sandro Tonali and Declan Rice any day of the week. Chippers is saying the pressure's on Villa on Saturday night. I think you're right, mate. Absolutely think you're right. Mark saying Zimbabwe mags are very happy. Well, hello from you guys in Zimbabwe, Mark. Hope you enjoyed that. I don't know what time it is watching over there, mate, but a great performance to cheer you up no matter what time it is over there. Let's have a look. Kevin saying you said negative about Willock at the start, or am I wrong? Yeah, I was negative about Willock. I just think he rushes the play too much, Kevin. I think he's a bit too rash when he comes on. We look smooth tonight. We looked comfortable on the ball. We were transitional well in our play. We were nice 1 and 2 passes around players and making it happen. I just think Willock rushed too many of his passes. I don't know if he's too eager to please. I think there was that one in particular where Isak's on his bike and he hits it first time when Isak's on the opposite side, doesn't take a touch, and then hit it to Isak like he did that great goal that he set up against Spurs for Isak. He just looks like he's rushing the play too much right now, Joe Willock. I don't know if he's too keen to make impressions to try and get himself into the team, but that's what I'm saying about being negative about Willock. And it's a great result. I don't want to be negative at all, but I think I want more from Joe Willock. John Anderson saying that about Louis Miley, who was fucking 18, which I thought was ridiculous, as I said in my video. But I want more from Joe Willock, who's well in his 20s, an established pro, who's had great moments at his football club. I want more from Joe Willock when he comes on. I don't want him to waste the ball and misplace passes regularly. That's what I'm saying. I just want Joe Willock to be better than that, to be honest with you. Chris was saying 50-odd million for Sandro is a snip, could be our best buy under the new owners. Mate, you're not too far off the mark. I think he's that good. He really, really is that good. I just think he's just going to get better and better as well, given his age and everything else. And the more he adapts to the league, I just think he's going to be even better at all. Peter saying, Chris, you were like me a while ago, criticizing certain players, but I'm glad I'm being made to eat my words now. I was, Peter. I was massively critical of Jacob Murphy. I didn't think he belonged in this team. I thought he was average. I thought he made bad decisions. I thought he was rash on the ball, just like I've been saying about Joe Willock as well. But my God, credit goes to Jacob Murphy and the coaching team for working on his game. He's making the right decisions now. He's calm on the ball. He's confident. He's taking the right touch, when he needs to. He's putting in the right ball when he needs to, and I think he's a player reborn, and a lot of us owe him an apology. I think he's knuckled down and he's showed that he's a good footballer, and he's proved us all wrong. And yeah, Farron's said the same about Murphy, and he's turned it around completely. He really has, and you've got to give him credit for that. As a football fan, it's always okay to criticize. I think so. But if a player turns around and puts in the graft and then shows you what he's capable of, then for me, you got to put your hands up and say, hey, well played, mate. And Jacob Murphy, well played. We've said it numerous times, and we'll keep saying it while he's putting in performances. D Sabotage said Eddie Howe's self-belief should skyrocket now. Improves players, wins trophies, and his team scored 9 while he's away. Pride and self-belief in his work, 100%. And you know what it says as well, Sabotage? It's the players in the market right now who are thinking about the next move. You know, look at players like Tyler Dibbling from Southampton has been linked to the football club. You know, no way they're getting 100 million quid for him, by the way. But, you know, someone like Tyler Dibbling, he's only got to look at what Eddie Howe has done for Anthony Gordon, what he's done for Lewis Hall, what he's done for Tino Livramento, what he's doing for Harvey Barnes right now, you know, what he's done for Jacob Murphy, Joe Linton. You know, he's got to look at that and say, do you know what? This guy can make me an England international. And that's why these players will be drawn to Eddie Howe in the summer. There's no doubt about it. So as long as Eddie Howe's back with the budget, these exciting players will be drawn to Eddie Howe because he improves players and he's an excellent manager, excellent man manager as well. So I think, you know, that is a massive plus for Eddie Howe, no doubt about it. Dan is saying Tonali can slam a revolving door. P. James says Tonali can see John Cena. He can probably hunt the predator down in the jungle as well, couldn't he? Wouldn't even need Arnold Schwarzenegger and all them guns. He'd just run after him and probably dispossess him and then put him on his arse and run off with all of his trophy skulls, probably. Again, Andy B saying Tonali can play the violin with the piano. I love these Tonali. What else can Tonali do, guys? I absolutely love these, to be fair. Absolutely brilliant. We've got Donald saying Murphy has 29 goal involvements in his last 50 Premier League games. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And Vincent's right. A nice fat 5 helps with our goal difference. And that could be key come the end of the season. It really could, because that Champions League race is tighter, tighter than a fat lad's jeans. It really is, isn't it, to be fair? I was only getting now Jack a thing. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want to go for the boobs in case I got cancelled. So that was as close as I could get. But it's tight. It's very, very tight. Is that race for the Champions League? There's no doubt about it whatsoever. And Newcastle are in the driving seat right now. We've had that game in hand. We've won that game in hand. And that's what we needed to do. And that's what we've done. And, we've got big fixtures coming, but we can also take points off the rivals as well. And that is massive. That is massive for us in this run-in, because there's not many of the teams who've got those fixtures. And I just think that it's probably a dream set of fixtures, really, for Newcastle in the lead-in to this Champions League run, and it really, really is. George has said Tonali solves Rubik's Cubes just by staring at them. They just solve themselves, mate, because they're scared of them. Cushy saying players will be stupid to not come with the 2 now. I totally agree, mate. It's a bright move for them as players. That feel-good atmosphere. Look at the parade with the cup as well. I was there. I was lucky enough to be there with Mark. I still think that's why Mark's got the lurgy from the parade. Someone sneezed probably down the back of his neck, and I imagine I was lower to the ground, so maybe I got away from the germs. But send Mark some thoughts, guys. He's struggling with man flu once again. He's always ill, as Mark. He needs like Baraka on the drip, I think, just to try and keep him right if he's listening somewhere in the background. But look at that parade. Look at the kind of camaraderie, the feeling of togetherness in that squad. Why would you not want a piece of that as a player? Mark Guehi's looking at that tonight, just wanting to be part of that. I guarantee you. And I don't want to sound like a dick, and the Palace fans might have a go at me for it, because I've said the same thing, for the Isak links consistently, Liverpool and Arsenal in the main. But Mark Guehi must be looking at that thinking, fucking hell, I'd love to be here. PJ saying Tonali once ejaculated a truck, and now we have Optimus Prime. Very good, very good. KK saying Tonali can lick both his elbows. Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, while whistling the national anthem as well, because that's how good he is. Derby Design says we need a world-class right winger to sit on the bench behind Murphy. Absolutely. We'll sign him Buemo and just go, just sit down there, mate. He's playing ahead of you. But listen, if we sign a really good right winger and then Jacob Murphy keeps playing like this, the right winger will have to play themselves into the team. Absolutely. David saying the wife says I should go to bed. Night, lads. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Robinson. There's a movie in there and a song in there somewhere, isn't there? Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Get yourself to bed, David. Don't get in trouble, mate. Don't get in trouble over us, to be honest with you, mate. But you enjoy that result, no doubt, as well. You never know. Mrs. Robinson might be feeling in a good mood, mate. You never know. Let's go on. It's taking a funny turn. I'm going away from this. Andy B is saying Tonali is the reason why Waldo is hiding. That's superb. We call him Wally in the UK, Andy. You must be. Is it American or not? I don't know. Peter saying shout out to Harvey Barnes too. You see him have turned a corner. I think he needed just a settled spell in the team. It's funny with Barnes, Peter, because Mark said that so many times when we're talking about Harvey Barnes, people were right to say they were disappointed with his output because we knew he was a better player than that. But he just needed a run. He's one of them players that needs a run in the team. He needs 3 or 4 games to get him up to speed. And when he does, he's doing things like that. He's so deadly, so clinical. He's a lot quicker than I even thought he was, to be honest with you. When he gets one-on-one with a defender, he's got some real pace, this Harvey Barnes. And not only that, he's got strength as well. He can bounce players off of him. He's got great close control. And like I said, when he gets into those positions, he's just deadly. He's like he turns into a centre forward. I don't think I've seen many wingers who can finish as well as Harvey Barnes in that position. He's absolutely brilliant. He really, really is. A couple more of these Tonali ones. I like these. Dan saying Tonali doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth away. Very good. And as a guy's Tesla says, Tonali built Rome in a day. Absolutely class. Andy B says, sorry, I didn't mean to start the Chuck Norris stuff. I'm in Newcastle. I didn't wonder what you were saying there, Andy. I didn't wonder what you were saying, mate. But it's absolutely class. Another comment there from William saying, in 2 games, Arsenal I've just put 5 past Real Madrid in 2 games this season. How many did they put past us? Wow, I didn't even see the result. I know it was 0-0 when I checked at half time, but I take it they've obviously won 2-0 there, Arsenal. So fair play to them. That's a good result for them. That definitely means the 5th place in the Premier League is there, isn't it? I think for the English teams, I think it was already decided, wasn't it? Green Sands saying, "Oh hell yes, what a game! Absolutely." Is that another WWE reference potentially? I don't know. There's loads of them slicking in here tonight. Absolutely loads of them. A few more comments here, guys, before we shoot off. Tony is saying we are an attractive club more than ever now. Absolutely, 100%. Couldn't agree more, mate. George is saying 2-1. That must be Arsenal and Real Madrid. I take it then, is it? I mean, Real Madrid have really, really fucked that up, haven't they? To be fair, everyone was talking about Real Madrid. Cast iron winners of this competition. Been pissed on all over, haven't they? Really, by Declan Rice. The guy who's scared of Sandro Tonali. Aaron Robinson saying, nice rest in the second half as well for our first team, as it was. It was good game management. It really, really was. Dean Young saying the TTR granny must be on oxygen tonight. I didn't actually see the lads' reactions. I do love when Paul and Billy are on the mic, to be fair. They're excellent on the old on the match commentary, and I'm sure that was a hell of a performance by them too tonight as well. Chris was saying, we are a fucking football team, lol. I don't know if that just means we are a fucking amazing football team. I don't know if you missed a word there, mate, but absolutely class. Yeah, P. James says Tonali doesn't sleep; he just waits. Absolutely, yeah. I think the Sandman asks Tonali if it's okay for him to go to sleep. I think that's probably what he does as well. Probably said that because I had Metallica on the car earlier. Jay Holder saying, imagine if we finish second, win a cup, and Premier League runners up, the longest case of prime president ever. God, I love this club. Eddie Howe, Black and White Harvey. It's actually something that could happen. Jay, I've lost my train of thought even trying to say it out loud. You never ever could have thought there, could you, that we would have done that a couple of months ago when people were losing their minds, me included. I wasn't very happy with the way things were going. I was starting to wonder if maybe it was taking a bit of a turn for the worst. And wow, Eddie Howe, superb. The players, superb. Stepped up, every single one of them so far. It's not done yet. And you can see that the focus, they're locked in, they know what they need to do. And I think they're going to do it. I really do. I think we're going to get Champions League. I really believe it. I really do believe it. There's still a way to go, but I think we're going to get it. Johnson, Chris, do we sell our informed players now who are prime value? It's interesting that, John, because I did say that when we finished top 4 for the likes of Almiron, Longstaff, Wilson at the time. I don't think we sell our informed players now because you're talking about Tonali, Isak, Barnes, Murphy, and these are players that we need. Whereas I think when we finished top 4, although Miggy was excellent that season, we always felt we could get better or find a better player than Miggy. So that's why I thought we should have done that. And I thought Longstaff had, it obviously hit his limit, which means he come on tonight. He didn't look particularly great. That's a weird one for me. Why Louis Miley didn't come on. Maybe, it's just getting the appearances in for Sean. I don't know. But, again, touch was poor tonight and just game kind of passed him by a little bit. It's a shame what's happened to Sean. He's really regressed as a player. And I think Sean needs a fresh challenge. I think there's still a good footballer in there for somebody, but I don't think he's good enough to get into this Newcastle team or squad even at the minute, really, based on what we're seeing. But listen, like I said, I'm not going to dwell too much on the negatives because, we've won We won 5-0 and we're third in the table. Yeah, thank you, Cushy. Hit the like, everyone. This channel is class. Thank you so much, buddy. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Ty. I've seen your email there, mate. We will check that out and come back to you, buddy. Chris is saying, can we catch Liverpool? Lol. Maybe a little bit too late for that one, Chris. But hey, I like your thinking, mate. I like your thinking. Graham's in the chat. Good to see you, Graham. What a performance we are in the zone. Absolutely. It's superb. To see that, to see those levels of performance, and it's just the relentless kind of aggressive desire to win games and not take your foot off the throat. That's always been the problem for us, even under Howe, at times where we've been on top of teams and we've just pulled back a little bit off the throttle, and teams have come back into games, we've been drawing games, and you've been frustrated. Whereas now we're just not even letting teams breathe. I even heard Carragher say that the other night, that we don't let teams breathe. And what a great thing that is to be stuck to as a team. And listen, Villa have been brilliant in the Champions League this season, and Emre's had Villa playing really well. But make no mistake about it, Villa will be looking at that tonight going, wow, like they are a serious team coming to us at the weekend. We need to be at it, but we need to be better than Villa. And that's going to be a hell of a game. I'm really looking forward to the preview for that, and hopefully a cheery post-match review, because I want to win that game. Dean saying, I'm calling it now. Tonali is the best midfielder we've ever had. He's getting better each game and dragging lesser players along with him. I mean, he certainly is just running out of superlatives from me. I really am. The way he commands the game, the way he sees the game, he's just absolutely class. It's like he's like, like the Terminator movie where he's scanning the fucking room and he just, this 20%, 30%. He's like that, isn't he? It's almost like he's looking all around the pitch, and just scanning things, danger, a pass that's on, give me the ball, I'll spin, I'll flick it. He just seems to be that type of a player. And I'm not saying he's as good as these guys, but, like what Iniesta was, like what Xavi was, they saw 3 or 4 steps ahead, or Michael Carrick in a way from an English kind of comparison, or Paul Scholes, players that see the pass, 3 or 4 steps before. Tonali knows exactly what he's going to do, and he knows where Bonds, and he knows where Murphy is, he knows where Isak is, and what a player that's to have in your arsenal. And he's just mint, to be fair, and absolutely love the fact he plays for us. And now we're seeing other teams thirsting over Tonali, and that'll only get stronger week in, week out. Julie says Tonali can walk on water. Absolutely. I think the water just jumps out the way, Julie, and just says, sorry about that, Sandro, and just lets him walk through. Probably sings his song. Chris was saying it's nice to see some of the pundits and media starting to praise us. It's taken a while, but they're getting there, lol. Yeah, I saw Paul from Toon Review did a video about that as well. I saw some praise. I think Gary Neville had said something like, it's good to see Newcastle finally having a team that they can be proud of, and winning trophies and playing well, and they've been through a lot of shit times and they deserve that. So it's nice to see that. But it won't last long, guys, with mainstream media. They'll all be trying to sell our best players come the end of the season. They'll all be doing it now, to be fair. Even when we finish in the top 4 or 5, we'll still be trying to sell our players to Arsenal, even if we finish above them. Agaddis is saying, Sean and Callum are suffering from Tonali and Isak's voodoo, stolen all their talent and top themselves up. I don't think they need to steal their talent, mate. It's like was against Space Jam when they steal the old ball. Yes, 404 in the chat, or 372 now, but yes, 404 in the chat is very nice. Remember to hit that like, guys. It always helps with the old algorithms. Got another super chat there from Dan Robinson. Thank you very much, buddy. Latest news, police hunt Newcastle for the murder of Crystal Palace. Very nice, mate. We're murdering teams left, right, and centre. We're like a serial killer of football teams. Dr. Hot Tub and the Hot Tub Factory. What a name, mate. Love that. Murphy and Barnes have to get a call up now. I would be shocked if they don't, mate. I really do. Tuchel seems to want to reward players who are playing well, and who's playing better than those two right now. Honestly, I think he would be mad not to give them a call up. I really do, because they are doing so well in top level Premier League football, and beating teams that are qualifying for the last 8 of the Champions League. So what they're doing that doesn't deserve getting an England team. Don't watch says Evermore and True Faith are the most entertaining Newcastle chants. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. I love the guys at True Faith. I've always said there would be no Evermore if it wasn't for True Faith. That was the first bit of football content I ever did, and I still speak to Alex now, and Charlotte's brilliant, and I love the guys there. They're absolutely class. And me and Mark were at one of their talk-ins a few weeks ago. We had a good chat with them, and met Norman for the first time, who's a top bloke as well. So yeah, I love True Faith to watch the top guys and girls as well. And yeah, thank you very much, mate. To be mentioned in the same sentence as them is great for me and Mark. We really appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Let's check a few more of your comments, guys, before we shoot off. Candy Scott is saying, "Hi, Chris. Great result tonight." Absolutely, mate. It was a brilliant result and well deserved as well. Not one part of that game that I think we deserve to lose any of that game whatsoever. I mean, even in the Nick Pope mental moment, I still thought we could have went on and got another few goals against that Palace team, because that would have been a real disappointment, I think, if we were able to, well, if Palace got into that game and managed to get a draw or something like that, it would have really pissed me off. George is saying, "Love this channel, always comments, speaks like a fan." Brill. Thank you very much, George. Really appreciate that. Yeah, and we encourage the comments as well. We encourage differences of opinion in the chat as well. We don't slap anybody down for it. We don't turn my nose up or sneer anybody for having a difference of opinion to either me or Mark. For whichever one of us is behind the microphone. If you've got your opinion, that's fine. We'll talk about it. If we disagree, we'll debate. We won't berate. That's what we do as a channel. And if you guys like that, smash that button and subscribe if you haven't already. Mirza Ahmed saying, "Guehi scored for Newcastle without signing a contract." He's actually got more goals for us than Dan Burn, if you can believe that, which is mental. Yeah, as Chivers is just saying, he's got more goals for us than Wilson. Oh my God, that's even worse. That Dan Burn, I can understand, but Wilson, that's terrible. Glenn Farrick saying, "Really looking forward to the Aston Villa game. They are where we are at the minute. Potential for an absolute belter." It really should be. It's funny because it's that kind of a thing where Sky will ramp it up as the best game of the weekend. It'll probably end up being a shit 0-0 game, which normally happens, with Manchester derbies and things like that. Hyperbole is saying, "Sell Isak, keep Longstaff." He's been a member for 15 months. Thank you very much, Hyperbole. I'm sure that's a sarcastic comment, or you've had a couple of Swifties tonight to celebrate that result, mate. Well said. Well done. Nathan saying, "Chuck Norris once went on holiday to Italy. The result is Sandro Tonali." That would explain it, Nathan. Thanks, mate. I've been wondering who Sandro Tonali's dad was. I was either going to go with Thanos or Chuck Norris, but let's go with Chuck. I think that's a safe one as well, because Thanos is maybe Joe Linton's dad, to be fair. But yeah, we'll wrap up a couple more comments, guys, and then we'll move on. But an unbelievable performance tonight by Newcastle. I just think that we're in the zone so much right now. Confidence is sky high. Again, just a little mention that I haven't mentioned. I've been so excited talking about the game. Eddie Howe still missing the game, still recovering in hospital from pneumonia, which was the diagnosis that was obviously published by the football club. Jason Tindall said there's been no further updates on him, and they're just trying to make sure he gets better and he's in the right place and everything else. And I think it just goes to show you, as you said before in the comments, that Eddie Howe's whole kind of ethos and mentality of this football club just runs right through, his number two, the players, and even though the man's not there himself, everything that Eddie Howe has built at this football club is still there and functional, and that is excellent to see. And we wish Eddie, nothing but a speedy recovery, but he needs to take as long as he can do. But if Jason and the lads can keep putting performances like that, there's no reason for Eddie to rush himself back. Dancing Eddie Howe might not make it back into the starting team when he returns. Absolutely, he's going to have to work his way back in, like Anthony Gordon as well. Marcus is saying, "Wow, imagine how the young Burns feel today, sky high." It's mad, isn't it? Because I think, when me growing up as a Newcastle fan, I'm in my 40s now, and I saw it as being brilliant when I first started following the tune. Then we were shit. Then Bobby came and we were great again. And then we were shit again. Now we're great again, possibly even better than the incarnations I've seen previously, because not only we're great, we're effective as well. We've got hardworking players. We've got superstar players. We've got this brilliant, articulate, eloquent manager who, is charming and intelligent and just, dedicated. And it's you just burst with pride supporting Newcastle right now as a fan. You really, really do. And all these little shit houses who, poke fun at Wern and try and laugh behind their cameras and microphones at us, just to get clicks and likes. We're coming for their football clubs. We've already leapfrogged Manchester United, who are absolutely fucking toilet. They're 5, 6, 7, 8 years away from being, you know, even a top 4 or 5 contender now, never mind a Premier League contender. You know, Spurs are right down in the doldrums now. You know, Spurs took our place when Ashley Asset stripped us. We were the Spurs, and then Spurs took over from us. You know, and now Spurs have slipped right back down, you know, to that kind of mediocre place in the league. You know, so right now, that top 4, that top 5, I think, you know, the likes of Newcastle and Aston Villa, the way we're playing, the players we've got, the managers that we have, you know, both of those teams can make themselves comfortable under the duvet of the top 4. I really do believe that. You know, Liverpool's obviously there, City, Arsenal. You know, there's space for likes of Newcastle in the top 4, maybe Villa in the top 5. You know, and that's what those 2 teams need to be doing. And I think with a bit of investment, I said this on the video of the week, and some people might call me crazy, but if you can keep that core group of players together, you can add 3 or 4 top quality recruitments. Why can't Newcastle push for the title? You know, I'm not saying we can win it. Why can't we push for it? Why, if we finish second this season, even after some of the disastrous moments of this season, why can't we push? Why can't we push for that? You know, as Kev's saying there, Tuna Villa replaced Man U and Spurs in the Big Six, so it should be absolutely. Glenn's saying, "How good is it to be in your 40s?" not great, mate. I wish I was younger, Glenn. I wish I started this a lot younger. I might have the kind of subscribers some of these tits have got that people are clicking the buttons. You know, like and subscribe, guys, if you can. George is feeling generous. He's gifted 10 Evermore memberships. Thank you very much, George. You generous soul. You hope you don't get in trouble for not reading the kids a bedtime story because you're too busy giving away memberships. Steve is saying midfield is in total synergy. It's deservingly effective. Absolutely. I think that's the right way. It's late. I'm squinting. The midfield is class. Oh, and Marcus is in the house with 10 Evermore memberships as well. You generous souls. Well done, guys. Well done. Absolutely brilliant. I think that's us pretty much wrapping up now, guys. We'll be here all night talking about this unbelievable game, but just a superb performance by Newcastle. Did the business in the first half, you know, shifted into second gear in the second half. Alexander Isak got his goal, which was excellent. You know, that's going to fill him full of passion as well. Yeah, Geordie boys are taking the piss. Tesla, well said. That's going to fill him full of confidence going down to Villa. That's a big game. Isak will want to steal the limelight. He'll want to show everybody what a good player that he is as well. And bring on Villa. I'm not scared of Villa. I really am not. You know, I was concerned, you know, a few weeks ago. I'm excited by that game now. And I think Newcastle could not be in better form going into that game than we are right now. And you know, we're going to be bang at it. Villa are going to be bang at it. A great game for the neutral. A terrible game probably for both fan bases of the football club. But I think we've got a real good chance of getting something at Villa. We'll be back with the preview and the post-match for that at the weekend. Thanks for watching tonight, guys. Like and subscribe. Help the channel grow. Have a brilliant evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Newcastle United are third in the table, and they are fucking class, to borrow a line from the guys at True Faith. Have a better, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.